Hello, friends. Today we're going to practice evaluating our own memoirs using a rubric. Now, you might notice this rubric looks very similar to the checklist that we used earlier when we were drafting. That's on purpose. So, what we're going to do is look through each piece of the rubric, see if we did it looking at our own text, and then you'll notice here it says proof. We're going to actually copy and paste or write in note form how we met that criteria in the rubric. And that's going to make sure that we're not just like clicking through things without understanding what we mean. So the first part of my rubric that I need to look at is, do I have a description of the setting and background information if necessary? Oops. And I believe that I do. So here I say when it happened, early in the morning, the last day of my first year of teaching. So I'm giving the when of the setting. And then I say where. I say Somerville, and I describe the fire trucks. So here, I'm going to click yes. And then my proof is when after last day of teaching, where, Somerville, and then the description of the fire trucks blocking the street. That annoys me, so I'm going to make it like that. Actually, I'll do the whole thing. Okay, so I'm not just clicking the box, I'm also giving my evidence. And if I don't give my evidence, I can't get credit for that box. So let's say the conflict or problem in the story. Do I have that? Yes, I definitely do. I know that I do from my drafting. And here's where I say what it is. Somehow I knew immediately that my apartment in the heart of Somerville, Mass. Had burned down. The problem is my house lit on fire. So I'm going to click and then my proof. I'm just going to put the quote. Rising action events. So the rising action was when I had to go look in the house and get all my things out. I went to California and all the things I had to do over the summer. That's all part of my rising action. So I'm seeing all of this here. I'm going to put that under my proof. So after the fire, getting my stuff, events of the summer, looking for an apartment. And then the climax or the turning point is when I actually find my new place. So let's make sure that I put that in there. Yep. So here we go. And that talks about how terrible that move was. I'm just going to put the quote. Oops, I don't know why that's on an extra line. Falling action. And this is if necessary, and if not, explain why not. So for some of our stories, it doesn't make sense to include a lot of falling action. So if that were you in the proof, you'd write something like, the story ended soon after the climax. Something like that. But for me, I did have a little bit of falling action. So I had written about my birthday and realizing that everything was over. So I'm just going to take that quote. And once again, copy and paste it. And make sure I put it in quotation marks so that it's clear that I quoted this right for my story. The resolution, how it ended. Yes. So I moved in and I had a place to live and I learned a lot. So under my proof, I'm going to say moved into new apartment and learned things. Do I have the theme or the message of the story? And it's either stated or shown. So I sort of stated my theme directly at the end of my story. So I said straight up what I learned. Despite what I lost in the fire, I gained it in my hardest times. I gained the knowledge that in my hardest times I was not alone. So I'm going to put that in my proof and check that off. Okay. At least 2 sensory details. So for these craft parts here, I think it's going to be much easier for you for your proof to just copy and paste. So 2 sensory details. I remember flames licking out the front windows. That was one sensory detail I used. So I'll put that in there. And now I got to find another one because I need at least 2. And this one was for smell. It was hot and smelled of old smoke, the largest and wrongest campfire of all time. So I will put that sensory detail in there as well. And then one piece of dialogue did I include? Yes, I did. I remember this part here where I said, at least we're all safe. And then one example of inner monologue. Here we go. Now that's just rude, I thought. And I can check these all off. So now the final thing that I need to do is I just count my check boxes. So the totals out of 10, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 10. And that's going to be my final score. Will be 100%. So your final score will be 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. However many pieces that you included, that's what your final score will be.